welcome to There is a Beautiful Me. I'm your host, Crystal Davis. This show is an inspirational talk show that is geared towards young women, but it is for anybody who is interested in learning anything dealing with health or anything as far as beauty tips inside and out. And then also there's some inspiration and motivational speakers that come along with the show as well. And then I also like to close out with special guests, and that's either artists, musicians, anybody with any talent. I'm always open to it. Starting off, I like to break down with Proverbs 31 as the foundation of this show. And today's verses are Proverbs 31, verses 19 and 20. Verse 19 reads, "In her hand he holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers." In the commentary reading, it talks about this verse and how the woman makes clothes for her family and how she sold clothing also to help provide for her family. In a sense, we do provide goods and services to other people so that we may profit and provide. You see plenty of women doing that now, and it not necessarily is clothing in particular. It can be cleaning, it can be washing clothes. This is an important task that women have because we are hard workers. Verse 20 reads, "She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy." This verse shows the comfort and nurturing side of women. Just as we take care of our own, we should help and provide for others in need. Jesus is merciful and takes care of us every day. When an opportunity comes to help someone in need, do it, even if it is helping someone out with a small task. Service to others is the best reward. I know when I volunteer and help out in the community or at church, I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to. If you do help unto others selflessly, your reward from God will increase. He tells us you reap what you sow. So try and sow a good seed and help someone other than yourself or family. Join a nonprofit, volunteer at a shelter. Just take a moment and see what a difference you make. Hello and welcome to There's a Beautiful Me. I'm Crystal Davis. This show is for anyone and everyone, but most importantly it's for those young women who are seeking God as being that modest woman and representing themselves in a manner that God would have them. This show is to be uplifting and inspiring to those who want to know more about Christ. Today we are going to take a different route in the show and go to another side. We have talked about natural hair, health and fitness, fashion and makeup. In the studio today, we have a local children's book author, Preshay Barnes. Preshay has been an educator for the past 7 years. She started off in 2007 as an elementary English arts and reading teacher and then moved to special education. Now she's an adult college instructor at a local college here in Houston and currently is working on her doctorate degree at Concordia University, where her concentration is higher education. She just recently wrote a book titled The Adventures of Waldo the Flea that teaches kids vivid vocabulary through rhymes. Now, you might think, why do I have an author on the show? But the thing about Preshay is her book not only teaches vocabulary, but it is geared towards motivating young kids. So I want to acknowledge the importance of the book and why we want to let people know about it. Also in the studio, we have her illustrator, Crystal Ross, joined with us today. Welcome, ladies, to the show. I'm so glad you all are here.
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you. So real quick, Preshay, can you tell us a little bit just about the book itself?
Well, the book Waldo Flea is geared towards helping children to be motivated. Basically, finding their inner happiness. The book is basically about Waldo. He's a little flea, and he's a little person, and it kind of deals with me a little bit because I'm a little person, but the book originated from me having an infestation one time of fleas when I had a dog named Jazz. And it's geared to helping little kids know that no matter how small you are, you can be bigger than what you are.
Okay, and then Crystal, what made you want to be a part of this? Because I know you all work together to get this all fixed and ready, so tell us your side.
Well, it's an amazing story. How we both came together is totally God, first and foremost. When I met with Preshay, we clicked off great. But one thing about it is that her dream meshed with my dream. You know, being able to show the world that the creative side of it, we all are born to create and we are designed to create. So just having that inside of you and wanting to be able to show the world that, hey, not only do I love God, but I am made in his image and likeness. I am a creator. So just being able to show, the creative side of ourselves is amazing.
Right. So tell me how you said y'all met, by chance. So how did that happen? Can
Appreciate
somebody
Okay. I have a good friend named Josie, which is her sister-in-law, and I have been looking for an illustrator for about a couple years because I wrote this book when my baby was born prematurely, and I had been meaning to write this book, and I was focused on writing the book, but when my baby was born, 1 pound 14 ounces, I had time to write. I would go to the hospital, write, and read the book to the baby. So I told my friend Josie I had wrote a book. She said, well, send it to me. I sent it to her. And I said, I'm looking for an illustrator. Do you know anybody? She's like, I don't know anybody right now, but I keep my eyes open. So a couple months had passed, and on Thanksgiving, she sent me a text. I have an illustrator for you called Crystal Ross. Call her between this time and this time. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and I'll call her. Right. And so I emailed her, and we just connected, and we clicked, and we've been working together ever since.
And that's great. So your vision for the book, what is your idea? Because I see you have the cover. Is this the cover for the book?
Well, actually, it's just a presentation of who he is. The cover is yet to come.
Okay.
But it's about Waldo, as she said, and he's being introduced to the world. You see right here, the spotlight is on him, and he's a little guy with big dreams. So we just wanted to present him first to let the world know that it's going to be an amazing insight of who he is. But our dream together works. It's just hand in hand. It's amazing. She would flow with her ideas, and I see them as I close my eyes. I see them working on paper, and I'm like, Prishay, let's go ahead, let's put this and this, and I was thinking this, or I was thinking that, and we'll just mesh it all together, because I believe not only to be able to show the illustrating side of things, but also the inspiring, the little guy with big dreams. Well, if we can put those things together, I mean, hey,
it turns great.
Yes, it does.
It's amazing. Yeah. And I was talking with Prishay, the amazing thing about this is, you hear about authors and illustrators and how they, do their books, and the author never sees the visual until after it's published.
Yes.
So I was like, that's pretty amazing that you guys are able to work together and actually, sit there and share each other's ideas and, basically come up with this vision and be able to work off each other.
Yeah.
Were there any challenges during this process as far as for you for writing?
Well, not for writing, because I had wrote the book. The only challenge was me finding an illustrator.
Right.
Because I can't draw. And I don't know how to do any graphic design. So that was the only challenge for me.
So, and for you, the same?
Well, actually, once we got together, I think the biggest challenge is getting past the self. Like, I can't do this, or will this impact when it needs to impact? But being that her writing side and my visual side just combined so sweetly together, it's been good ever sinse.
And this is y'all's first time working together?
Yes.
And do y'all plan on doing more books later
we
on?
We have a little project, actually. It's about a little girl. That's what I give you. It's about a little girl. And she is going to inspire people through helping people through God's work. And she is a work in progress.
Right.
I'm working on her.
Right now.
And hopefully within the next year or so, she'll be ready.
And then you said the book related to yourself, like you felt a connection and you wanted to be able to get that out. Now, I know with Waldo the Flea, he seemed a little, sad about himself because he was small. So the connection that you made, what are you trying to get, what are you trying to tell your readers? Like when they read the book, what are they, what are you trying to get out of it?
I want them to understand that you can be small, but just because you're small, don't think you can't obtain your dreams. But also when obtaining your dreams, you can't get so caught up in self, because Waldo gets ahead of himself and he thinks, oh yeah, okay, I'm little, my parents told me I can be what I want to be, and then he tries to dictate everybody. So no matter how big you get, remember that you have to put everything back into perspective,
right?
Because you can't run the world.
Exactly. And for Crystal, how did you get started with illustrating, like all together?
Wow, when I was a little girl, I always liked to draw, and I would just see myself being a cartoon artist,
Right.
And the thing that got me the most was that as I grew older, I put down the pen, I put down the sketch pads for work.
Mhm.
And what I thought was work was actually my job.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So I learned that God gives us jobs to allow us to do our work,
Mhm.
which is the work that He calls us to do. Everybody has something in them. Everybody has a passion. And my piece, my passion, my drive was putting my ideas on paper.
Right.
So just knowing that I'm pleasing Him in all that I do,
Mhm.
and that He's pleased, and this is a gift that He's given me.
Right.
I can't deny just putting that out to the world.
Exactly. So was there any other inspiration that drew you to, wanting to do just drawing ultimately by itself?
I would say my children.
Mhm.
You know, there's certain
That's
things
good.
that you can do with your children when they're little. You know, you can read stories, you could, sing songs.
Yeah.
But my thing was watching my sons. I have 2 boys. Watching them create the way they want to expressively. They would draw, they would dress up, they would act, and I'd be like, okay, and that draws their interest. When they see their mother actually doing something, and I'm
Right.
telling them, God's given me this
Yes,
ability,
yeah.
and I'm putting it on paper, and they're hearing that mom is connecting with Miss Barnes, Miss Crochet. Mom is about to go to present this to the world.
Yeah.
They're like, I can do it too.
So they're interested in drawing as well as
Yeah, they're interested in arts and other things, as boys are.
Right.
But they do
right.
have that creativeness in them.
That's good. Wow. And what about you, Prishay?
Well, as soon as I knew how to write, I tried to do it. I remember being back in the 4th grade, and I wrote a story about, it was like about your best experience. That's because they were doing all the standardized tests, and they still do it now.
Right.
But I wrote a story in particular, and when I wrote the story, the teacher said she would pick the best person, and I love this teacher, but my story didn't get picked. And so when I went home, I was just like disgusted, and I felt really down. So my mom, I can't write, I'm not the best. She's like, no, you just keep trying. You're not going to always be the best, but you just keep trying. So I kept writing, and my mom was a writer too.
Right.
And I just kept writing, and I started writing poems. And then when I got to middle school, I had a teacher, Miss Lewis Bailey. Since then, she's passed away. She put us in this smooth talkers competition at TSU, and I wrote this poem. It was called Me, Myself, and I. And I won first place, and this was back in the day. It was like 1990. It's like 1996, 1997. But it just inspired me. Wow. Like, if I could win this, and I can write this. And so I just continued to write poetry. And when I came into my young adulthood, I always set these, like, life goals. I was like, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have this book published. Well, I'm 31, so I'm okay.
So you're
I
on
just
the right
set these
track.
personal goals that I want to write children's books. I want to help children because I became a teacher, and I always look for ways to teach my students poetry. And I used to just write little stories myself and say, okay, we do this. And I put music to them, and we'll be in the classroom, dance. And I'm like, well, maybe I should, write children's books. And I write other types of books too, but it's really geared towards like children for now.
That is just great. So what is the ultimate goal for this book in particular that you have? Like, do you see it going just here in the United States, or y'all trying to take it over, overseas, or, what is the goal? What is y'all's goal together?
Whatever, however big God wants it to be.
Yes, and that's
Right.
exactly just like Waldo. However big, dream big.
And
Be mindful of yourself so you don't get up, in front of yourself
Exactly.
and lose your priority system. But let God do what He wants to do. He wants to do. It's possible. It's all things possible. I say we can go as far as He wants to take it.
Yeah.
So now this is going to be a series.
Yes,
right? So
a series of books.
For the next series, I guess, is it going to be, because this is vivid vocabulary, is the next one going to be targeted towards like a certain, like maybe sentence structure or grammar, or, is it like a certain...
It's basically just to teach them. All of the books are taught in like rhyme to help them with the vocabulary. Right. But the next one is just like a different moral of the story. Waldo comes into himself.
Right.
He starts listening to the dog named Jazz, because Jazz is the dog that he lives on top of. Him and his family. They want to take over the whole community.
Right.
So the entire community of dogs. So she kind of helps him to see the error in his ways. So it's basically teaching students, children, people, to look at correct yourself.
Right.
Self-correct, yeah.
So the storyline is pretty much going to stay on the dog, or are they going to, venture off?
Eventually
maybe?
he'll get married.
Oh, so that's a little hint that we got. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, he meets a little flea and want to teach the kids, like, you find somebody you love them, eventually you marry.
Exactly.
Just teaching them morals.
Right. And
how to respect themselves.
That's wonderful. So you are going to UAE to teach English.
Yes, and that's how the book ties in. Yes. Crystal and I are working together to get the book complete. We're going to have actually a book signing here in Houston, probably sometime in June.
In June, okay.
And we're also it's going to be an ebook, and we're also going to translate it to Arabic.
Okay.
So when I'm there, I'm teaching the students rhyme and vivid vocabulary in Arabic. And we're gonna try to work together.
So even though y'all are separate, y'all still plan on working together and sticking through it to the end.
Staying connected all the way through.
Right, throughout the whole thing. Well, is there anything more that you would like to say just about the book in general in itself?
Well, I hope people like it. And it's just like I said, I got the vision from a dog I had that passed away, and she had an infestation of fleas, and I was ready to give her away, but then something in me was like, I can't give this dog away, she's mine, and I got the house situated, and I said it all started with Waldo the Flea. He wanted to take over my house,
right?
And I got the personality from that. It wasn't even real. It was just like with this one little flea, because when I checked her initially, all she had was one flea. I said, it's just one flea, it'll be okay. But then in a couple of weeks, and it gets hot in Houston,
yes,
it wasn't good. Had to flee the house and exterminate. But I just hope it appeals to children that want to learn more vocabulary, want to find out more how to be positive about themselves, to let them know that there isn't anything they can achieve, no matter, even if you're tall, if there isn't anything you can achieve, but make sure you always keep things into perspective, because sometimes we can step outside of ourselves. Yeah, I got it together. Nobody can touch me. I'm invincible, but God is invincible, and He's the one that controls all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And just to know that never sleep on the visions and dreams that God gives you. I'm little, I'm like, I'm gonna be a cartoon artist, I'm gonna do all these things, but because of certain things in life, I like to get the best of me and I put those things to the side. But sure as God, if He sets a purpose, it's gonna come to pass. It's gonna come to pass. And so I listened to His voice. I was like, yes, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna step out, I'm gonna just draw and
go on.
And right on time, I met this amazing lady, and we connected so well. And now the dream is coming together. So if the dream is coming together and the purpose is coming together, that means God has a divine purpose in this earth for us to flourish in His kingdom. So that's one thing. You don't have to take over the world. Just find your niche.
I know it's going to be a very amazing book, and it's going to teach kids in a way that they never thought that they could learn. And thank you again for coming out today. I can't wait for the book to come out, and I know there are some moms out there who will want to have this book for their kids. And again, please check out my YouTube channel for previous episodes on There Is a Beautiful Me. If you are interested in being on the show or closing out the show with your talents, you can contact me at proverbsbeauty31@gmail.com and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at PROV31Beautiful. There is a beautiful me and you. You are God's beauty inside and out. As you know, we always close out the show with a special guest. Today in the studio, I have a young musician, Shymon Spencer, also known as a Muzik Mixer, who has been involved with music in his earliest preteen years. He is the worship leader for his youth group and a music teacher. He also has with him a dear friend, Mark Anthony de Gracia, who is a rising worship leader in their children's youth group. Both these young men have a true relationship with Jesus Christ and are eager to share their love through music to the world. Stay tuned. This is Crystal. There is a beautiful me and you. You are God's beauty inside and out.
1 Corinthians 13 is all about one word, and that word is love. Love is kind of like a ruby. It comes in many different shapes and sizes and colors. It can be imperfect, hard, tough, or rare. It can also be strong, durable, desired, useful, valuable, brilliant, precious, bright, and worldwide. Why is that? I don't know. Listen up while I tell you.
4 letters, L-O-V-E. I compare that word to a ruby. Even before the world ever knew me, love was created by the Lord from the beginning. Until hate was made and love is at war. You can see the grenades from heaven to hell where Lucifer lays. Hate paid a price while love is at the grave. My Lord, show me so much love. Your pity shows up in the form of a dove, which obviously comes from above. As I keep falling down, you pull me back up. And those so made things life's a burden. Please give them joy early in the morning. Show them love as they get your word in. When the devil comes, be sure to alarm them. Lord Jesus, my Savior, I give my all away today to you, Lord, as I come to you in your holy courts of praise. For your love came down and it had blew away my hate. I come to you exposed as you open up heaven's gates. I see your love, Lord, as it is a precious stone. For it is brilliant, desired, useful, and strong. Your brightness, your value, and your beauty is what I long. It is similar to a ruby, refer to the title of the song. Yeah.
Love is a word that's known. It's precious like a stone. Love is like a ruby. Love, nothing can take its place. It is life's best. Love is like a ruby.
Your love is too much to bear. I can feel it everywhere, even in the air. There's nothing I can do for you to dare to turn away from me and show me less care. I look in the mirror and all I see is an image of something that's not worthy. But because of your love, you have shown me my sin is erased and my slate is clean. If love was shown to all by us Christians, we would have less hate in our business. May a loving God be a witness to us showing love. Like a misfit, love is a word that is open to mean anything. It has lost its purpose. The world made it jaded. Now it's faded. We renew its meaning as we play this. Now listen up. Show love to your neighbor, your husband, and your wife, your children, your friends, and to all of those who breathe life. Show love to your loved ones. Be sure to hold them close and tight. Show love all around you to prepare for a Mr. or Mrs. Right. Love is often looked at as red, a color you cannot miss. It comes in all shapes and sizes, though it's only 4 alphabets. Cause I am imperfect, because I am not always fair. Like a ruby, love can be hard, tough, and rare. Love
is a word that's known. It's precious like a stone. And love is, it's like a ruby. Love, and nothing can take its place. It is life's best. Love is, it's like a ruby. Love, love, it's like a ruby. Oh yeah. God, show us love in this place. Holy Spirit, it's like a ruby.